Hi, this is Dr. Masoud and Ruth coming to you from Simi Valley, California. Welcome, and thank you for joining us for this very brief introduction to the 3-week detox, also known as the 21-day detox. Since many people are interested in doing the detox but they can't attend a live event, we decided to bring you this mini seminar on audio instead of having everybody come to one location. The purpose of this audio today is to talk about how to successfully complete the detox. And on a separate audio, we are going to cover all the reasons why somebody should do the detox. But we're just going to jump right in and talk about a few things that you should do before starting the 21 days. One of the most important things to do is please read through all 3 booklets before you start so that you know what to expect. There are some very specific instructions and some recommendations that you definitely want to know before you start so that you know how to prepare, what to shop for, and get yourself ready. The other thing that you want to do before you begin is start weaning off of caffeine if you're a heavy caffeine drinker. If you drink a lot of coffee or energy drinks or soda, you definitely want to start reducing the amount of caffeine that you drink before you start the detox. If you decide to just quit cold turkey from one day to the next, you're going to suffer some severe headaches, and we don't want you to go through that. So if, for example, you're drinking 4 cups of coffee a day, then maybe take that down to 2 cups of coffee a day for a day, and then cut that down in half again and in half until you are completely weaned off the caffeine. If you do have headaches, we recommend that you take valerian root. They come in pill form. You can get it at any health food store, or the vitamin shop might have them as well. To ease the pain, we don't recommend over-the-counter drugs or aspirin because that's counterproductive to the detox. But we do recommend that you just very slowly wean yourself off before you start. The other thing you want to start doing is weaning yourself off of cheese and dairy products. Cheese is highly addictive, and if there's a reason for that, but for the purpose of this audio, you should know that you should just start taking down, reducing the amount of dairy that you consume every day until you start week 1 of the detox. The detox is broken up in 3 sections, week 1, 2, and 3, and each of them does represent a lifestyle that you might adopt after you're done with this detox. And Dr. Masoud is going to describe to us what week 1 is all about.
Hello, this is Dr. Masoud from Simi Valley, California. The first week is really a lifestyle that it represents staying away from animal fat. And animal fat is a major toxin and also toxin holder in our body. In other words, if something is water soluble, we will get rid of it very easily. However, something is fat soluble, stays in fat. So if an animal has a toxin in it through antibiotic or vaccination or heavy metal that goes in his body or GMO that's been fed, all of that toxin is deposited in their fat. Then we eat the animal cheese or milk or the meat of that animal, and all that toxin is transferred to us. So the first week we talking about staying away from animal fat. And bigger than that is gluten. Now, gluten is a major allergy. It creates allergy reaction, not only for people who have celiac disease. There are 80% of people in this country, they also have some type of reaction to gluten. And we strongly urge you to stay away from gluten. And this is the reason. White bread with bromine, the bromine also is illegal in countries like Europe and some other places, but is in US still legal to use in white bread, and it's highly toxic. And of course sugar, and I don't need to talk about sugar a lot, but we don't consider it drug, we don't consider it food, we consider it more likely a drug. Anything you would like to add from the first week?
I think just to backtrack a little bit, the whole point of the 3 week detox is to uh, do on the offensive as well as the defensive. So you use food to take the toxicity out of your body, but you are also eliminating toxic, ingesting toxicity. So you will not find any refined sugar or flour or caffeine, obviously, or gluten in the 3 week menu. And we do recommend that you stay away from toxic cleaning agents, um, skincare that has parabens in it, um, things that are going to contribute to toxicity. So I think you should know that. Oh, yeah, detergent. You want to use the cleanest detergent that you can possibly use for washing your laundry. I think that's it for week 1.
All right, let's jump into week two. The week two is one of the problem is when we cook food, we kill the enzymes, and enzymes are building a builder block of our body. In other words, when imagine you there's a construction site that everybody brings in the building material, but there's no worker to build it, or the workers are building somewhere else rather where you want them to build. So when we cook food, we deplete food from its enzyme. Now then our body has to make enzyme, digestive enzyme, to to basically digest the food, and of course deplete ability to make other enzyme for other part of our body. One illustration I can give you: imagine you see your delicious food in front of you, you start to salivate. In that saliva you have ton of amylase, which is an enzyme, digestive enzyme. At the same time, believe it or not, your stomach already producing that enzyme as well, just by looking at the food. So your body is so ready to produce this enzyme. And what happened when we cook the food, our body has to produce extra enzyme for all the food that we eat. And there are like tumors or little extra protein in our body that there are enzymes that designed to go eat them up, or there are stuff in our body that they don't need to be there. Our enzyme, they play a vital role in immune system. So the more we are enzyme depleted, we are immune deficient. We will not digest food very well when we cook it. So the week two, we are talking about not any cooked food. Everything has to be fresh fruit, vegetable, and seeds and nuts, and two liquid food that are in week two. Now,
You mean 2 liquid meals a day?
two liquid, like blended meal or juice. Now we strongly urge you from week one to week two to week three, add to every meal a flaxseed oil as much as possible, at least 1 teaspoon to 2 spoon per meal. And if that's not available, have avocado with your meal or put your in blender avocado. But our first choice, first absolute choice, is a flaxseed oil. What is it you want to add?
For week 2, I would say one of the most important things to be successful through week 2 is to stay satisfied and eat as you become hungry, or don't let yourself go hungry. I would say it's just completely stay satisfied at all times. Make sure that you have some raw vegan snacks with you, like soaked almonds and dates and other kinds of nuts and seeds that are raw. Maybe even bring an extra smoothie with you. And one really great recommendation that we just got in this last detox that we coached was somebody bought a NutriBullet or something like it. I know there are several different kinds on the market. And um, this person was putting their ingredients for their smoothies inside the cups either that early morning or the night before, and she takes her cups and her motor to work, and then she just fills up the cups with water and blends her meal so that she's having smoothies and she's having her blended soups. We call it energy soup. She's having her soup at work, without having to think through, well, what is she going to have for lunch if she didn't bring anything with her? So I thought, well, that was a very, very creative way to stay successful during week 2. That's it. Do you want to move on to week 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go to week 3. The week 3 would be about all blended or juice, and we strongly urge you not to just go stick with the traditional breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We urge you to at least have 7 different meals. In other words, every 2 or 2.5 hours, you should drink a smoothie or juice. We want you to keep your body satisfied. At the same time, I would increase at least to three teaspoon per meal flaxseed oil, and of course if you have avocado, organic avocado, I would add that to our green smoothie. You cannot do that to with banana smoothie, for example, with blueberries, uh, but you can still add flaxseed. This week 3 is super important. All diseases like diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, arthritis, neurological diseases such as Alzheimer, Parkinson, um, immune problem, cancer. Uh, I take a disclaimer here. We don't cure or diagnose anybody here, but I challenge you this week. Basically, the first 2 weeks it prepares you for this week. And this is a week that almost any condition that is preventable that I just mentioned, it can be healed with this. There are institutions that they cure cancer with this type of diet. So I challenge you, anybody has any problem and they can get to week 3 and they can even extend it, you can literally get rid of that problem. The best one I can tell you, immediately your blood pressure, cardiovascular problem, you will notice it. Arthritis, you will notice it immediately. Immune problem, you notice it immediately. Neurological problem, I can tell you, me and my wife, every time we do this type of detox, when we get to week 3, it's like a fog lifts off of our head and our minds get clear. It's amazing. This is the week you want to stick the best, because not only when you eat raw food, but you take the burden of digestion out of your body for a week. You get all that energy that your body usually uses for digestion, and trust me, is a huge energy. Your stomach and your intestine are made between 4 to 4 layer of muscle that constantly working when you digest food. Imagine you constantly, your hand should contract, relax to mush something or to create a dough someplace. If your hand has to do that for more than 1 hour, imagine how your hands can get tired. The same with your stomach. Those are lateral muscle are at work, and all of a sudden you give those muscle a break, and the energy that you will save, it will go everywhere in your body, and you will see huge amount of energy. In fact, I seen my wife sometime when we go on this diet, does work of 2 days. Right away, I'm sorry, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. A work of 2 days in matter of half a day. She gets such energy. I mean, I'm amazed. Or even myself, when I get on this week 3, the energy level, and I want you to pay attention to your sleep. You will sleep less while you're having more energy, And the reason you sleep less, your body has a lot more energy to burn. And when you even sleep, you have a complete sleep because your body is not busy digesting stuff. You're literally relaxing and repairing stuff in your body. Pass to my wife, see what you have to say about this week.
Um, Definitely, we have seen that week 3 is where a lot of the healing happens. So things start to be relieved. People with acid reflux no longer have acid reflux. Little aches and pains throughout the body disappear. Joint pain starts to disappear. Um, there's just a lot of benefits that if you suffer from cystic fibrosis, those cysts might start to shrink or even disappear. We've seen this happen. We have seen um, people with diabetes completely reverse it and come completely off of their insulin medication, and it's just a victorious feeling to see or experience the healing for yourself. The level of energy that you will get through week 3 uh, will probably be way beyond what you've had in the past if you're feeling sluggish, or if you go throughout your day but then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon you feel like you need a Snickers bar or a cup of coffee. That totally goes away and you start feeling a very sustained um, and leveled out energy. And like my husband said, you'll probably need less sleep even though you have more energy during the day. Now, after coaching this detox with hundreds of people for 10 years and doing this detox ourselves for about 12 years, we have learned some things about how to be the most successful and how to get the most out of this detox. And we have noticed that the people who stay connected with other people do much better than the people who try to do this on their own. And we all, as human beings, we need connection. Here in our household, I have my husband and my husband has me. And when we have moments of frustration or weakness, which will happen because this is a huge change, we have one another to rely on. And he can encourage me to stay strong, and I can encourage him to stay strong, even past the urges to go back into regular food or to skip a meal or to grab something sweet that you're not supposed to have on the 3 week detox. It is just very important to have somebody to pray with and encourage you and share stories with. Really, what we all need is have someone who is going to be able to empathize with what we're going through. So if you can partner up and get a buddy and do this together with them, that would be fantastic. The other the other thing that makes this detox very successful is if you really truly follow the advice and increase your intake of good fats. Because when you increase your fats, your good fats, omega 3s, you will stop craving sugars and you will stop craving carbohydrates, which are two of our biggest enemies um, for health. So please follow the advice. Get lots of avocados. Go buy a big bottle of flaxseed oil and use it in every smoothie, in in
Yeah,
every
basically.
in
Yeah, it's
every
water.
energy soup. Right. Um, yes, you can even use the flaxseed oil in your meals in week 1. Just do not cook with it. It is very important that flaxseed oil should always be used um, in a non-heated form. It should stay cold.
Yeah, one thing on the week one, when you cooking the food on week one, we strongly urge you to use coconut oil. Yeah, as we say, do not use flaxseed oil for cooking. And coconut oil or even avocado oil that they sell on the market is okay to cook food. But in general, if you're just boiling food or baking without any oil, is always the best. Uh, If you using, we urge you not to use olive oil, but if you absolutely have to use olive oil, we urge you to use the cold press one. Not, if it doesn't say cold press one, it's probably that's been high in high temperature and is not a good oil, and it has ton of inflammatory in that oil. Second, when we're talking about caffeine, now let me. A lot of people say, "Oh, can I just do this without, abstaining from caffeine?" Now, caffeine is a substance that 50 different plants makes. Is a poison. Basically, plants makes that so it keeps the birds and insects away from its leaf. And we take that poison and we drink it and we get addicted to it. Now, another question people ask, "Oh, can I have a green tea? It has less caffeine." That's far from the truth. All teas are green tea. All teas start from being green. They process them. They can actually cook them, kind of bake them in different pans, and then they make them into black. So just the reason is black, it doesn't mean it has more caffeine or less caffeine if it's green. So still, if it says green tea and doesn't specific on the tea, it says non-caffeinated, don't drink it. There are plenty of tea that are herbal tea. There's a detox tea, honey. What is it called? That company? It's called Yogi Detox. You can get it from Whole Food. If not, there are plenty of herbal tea like peppermint. You can have chamomile. There are plenty of tea that you can have. And for those of you that at least absolutely need something like coffee, like we take our coffee is roast aroma. You can buy it from Whole Food. I mean, it's a tea, but it tastes kind of like coffee. It's called roast aroma. You can get it from Whole Food. And if you are somewhere in the world that don't have a Whole Food, just go online and punch in roast aroma. Do you know the spelling of it? Okay, go for it.
Roast aroma is spelled Roastaroma. And roast aroma happens to look like coffee. It has a hint of coffee flavor, uh, but it'll never be quite as strong as a cup of Folgers or a cup of Starbucks, but it does definitely give the satisfaction of a cup of coffee without the caffeine.
And we use almond milk to, as instead of creamer, we use almond milk, and that's instead of using sugar, we use stevia. Stevia. Now, the stevia that we use is a green stevia. Is a literally zero process. They take literally the leaf, they dry it, they pulverize it, and we put that in coffee maker. And I have a video. If any of you have any question, please email us. AskDrMasoud.com or um, I'm sorry, AskDrMasoud@yahoo.com. And or what is your email? You can give your email to everybody.
Yep, you can email me at Ruth_Shama@yahoo.com. That's RUTH as in Samuel HAM as in Mary at yahoo.com.
If you have any question, you can call us. But regarding, I made literally video that how to make this tea with the green stevia. Now, green stevia is a zero processed, and you can use a coffee maker to make sweet tea, or you can use a stevia. Now, the green stevia is better than white stevia that they sell because it's zero process and is nothing added to it, and is a lot healthier. Although it gives you sweet taste, it has zero glucose in it and is absolutely healthy. So I strongly urge you to learn that from our video. If you want that video, YouTube video that I made, just email me and I will send it to you.
Okay, so other best practices to really be successful throughout this detox is, like we said, is stay satisfied. we've been there where we're going through the detox and we have forgotten to bring snacks along with us. And our first temptation is just to go out and get whatever's easy. Just stop at the nearest fast food place or just get a plate of chicken somewhere. And then, it spirals down a little bit and it takes a while to, get back on that bandwagon and continue on with the detox. So, in order to stay successful, always travel with some soaked almonds, some dates, some nuts. Um, it's great if you want to start adding some juice and bring some juice with you. If you want to juice some veggies and juice some fruit, you can even stop at Jamba Juice and get simple juices that do not contain any dairy. You've got to watch out for going to Jamba Juice because they use a lot of dairy in their stuff. So get something that is clean, that stays with the philosophy of the detox.
Yeah, here are the list of best the snacks. Number one, and absolutely number one, are dates. Dates. You can have one of two dates with you, and just take that. It will immediately from week one. You should have always prepare a snack with you. Apple, soaked almond, as my wife says. Nuts like walnuts. Uh, Cashew is the best. Cashew is really good for you. Um, Also, make sure that when you have snacks, you don't overeat on a snack. Just have it enough that it will take care of your craving or whatever. Um, Thank you very much. And do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, I think some of the other things that we have done that work really well for us is add a shot of wheatgrass. An ounce or 2 ounces of wheatgrass. You can get them at Jamba Juice or maybe your local juice bar. Um, this helps with alkalinizing the body,
Yes,
the blood, and
definitely. Glad
we're
you
gonna
shared.
we're gonna definitely probably do another audio about this. But just so you know, if you are able to get yourself to a place to get a shot of wheatgrass, and maybe chase it down with a little orange juice or a slice of orange, that is definitely very, very helpful for um, the detox, to really propel your detox. The other thing that it works really well is having 2 liters of water a day. And the reason for that is because as you move further into the detox, your body is going to be releasing toxicity. This is a very real reaction in the body. The toxins that are being stored in the fat cells are going to come out. And the way that you want to get rid of those things is through your urine and through your bowel movements. So you definitely want to make sure that you are definitely flushing your body with plenty of water. If you can handle more than 2 liters a day, please feel free to do more than 2 liters a day. Um, but we find that 2 liters is pushing it. Now, um, we also have found that in the past, if you do not drink 2 liters of water, what you'll start to see is you'll see some skin reactions. Our skin is the largest eliminatory organ in our bodies. Our toxins come out through our sweat, they come out through our pores. So, if you don't drink enough water, you might start seeing, strange skin reactions like rashes or blemishes on the skin. You don't have to be concerned about that. There's nothing wrong, except that you're not really flushing out your body and the toxicity is coming out through your skin. So, very, very important that you drink those 2 liters of water a day.
Also, very important that when you're done with the detox, do not jump back. Stay away from the past lifestyle. We had people that literally right after detox, they jump back to junk food again, or go back. They say, "Okay, I done my detox over," and they literally end up in the hospital We had people literally had to go to emergency room for dehydration, because when you start after you clean your body or your body's used to having good food, all of a sudden you put white bread with a lot of junk on it, and your body is becoming enzyme depleted and become dehydrated super fast, because your large intestine all of a sudden gets clogged, and the absorption of the water is become fraction of what it used to be, because it's not used to all the junk and all the clot. One thing, if you want to also start from week 2, if you have access to steam bath, if you can go to steam room, that will help you detox faster to your skin, and is extremely helpful if you have that. Also, Epsom salt bath, that's very good from week 1 if you take it every day, if you have a possibility, or if you have time to do it. If not, at least take it once or twice a week.
The instructions in the week 3 booklet are, very clear about how to end the detox and how to proceed a few days after the detox. So you're going to end with all liquid meals. So basically, your body is just going to be receiving liquids all day for 7 days. So the way that you want to come out of the detox is you want to work your way back. The day after the detox is done, you want to still have more liquids and have a very light dinner, like a salad, nothing nut based. And then the next day after that, you want to stick with one blended meal, which maybe would be your smoothie, and have all raw food. And you want to do that for 1 or 2 days. And then after that, you can go back to vegan cooked food. And so this is the way that you work your way back into a different way of eating. Now, we have found that after every detox, we have adopted 1 or 2 habits that we have picked up from the 3 weeks that we decided we're just going to continue. So the first time I did this detox, I gave up caffeine altogether, and I was off caffeine for many, many years. And progressively like that, the second detox, I started increasing my intake of water. And I think 4 years ago, we decided that we were going to just stay on week 2. So this can become a lifestyle. This can be a continued healing process. It doesn't have to be just once a year or twice a year. It can be, you can adopt some of the things that you have learned and just make them part of your everyday life, and you will see maintained results. So instead of going back into junk food, instead of going back into a heavy fat, bad fat diet, then you can adjust your lifestyle to mimic what you've done over the 3 weeks. Um,
For if you have if you have major diseases like arthritis, you have major problem like lupus erythematosus, fibromyalgia, you have cardiovascular problem, diabetes, all this condition, I urge you to adapt the lifestyle. I mean, we don't we there are people who just want to detox. They have zero problem. They are healthy as they come. Yeah, you do the detox and then slowly adapt. One thing, for example, we never gave up from day one. My wife forget to is a smoothie in the morning. We since 12 years ago we kind of kept that. Majority of time, breakfast is a smoothie in the morning unless we decide otherwise. Um, go for it.
the other thing that we have started doing this last detox is we've recommended that people read a book called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. And you will find that as you move along the 3 weeks, um, this is not just a physical detox. Emotions will rise up, and um, you will you will have emotional changes and spiritual changes as well as physical changes. So, As a Man Thinketh, we have found, is a book that will support you throughout the detox. And we not only highly recommend it, it's almost like a requirement because we have found that it is so powerful. It's a very, very short book, but it's very, very insightful, and um, I think it is just a complement to the 3 week detox. Now, we definitely want to talk about some of the symptoms that you might experience. Um, we've never had anyone experience severe symptoms because of the releasing of the toxicity. However, you will see some differences in your body. For example, you might experience the headaches because of the lack of the caffeine and the adjustment. And, for that, you can take the valerian root. You will also might experience flu-like symptoms like body aches and maybe a slight runny nose. Uh, the other encouraging symptom you might experience is you will probably have to go to the bathroom much more often than you did in the past. I would say even by the end of week 1, you should start having more bowel movements than you normally do, um, if you're on the standard American diet. Uh, and really, the way that our bodies work, if you eat 3 times a day, you really should be going to the restroom 3 times a day. But because of um, we eat dead food that has no enzymes and no nutrition in it, our bodies get very sluggish and we don't eliminate quite as fast. While you're on the 3 week detox, you should expect to have, you know, 3 to 4 bowel movements a day, especially once you get into the end of week 2 and week 3. And if that's not happening, if you are not noticing that, please definitely call us, email us, get a hold of us somehow because we need to talk. Because then that means there's some underlying deeper issue with your digestive system.
Also, at the end of the detox, is not required but is recommended that you take colon hydrotherapy or get enema. Now, enema is those booklet that you get. Is describe how to do it, and as we strongly recommend you to do it. But however, if you have no possibility or you can't do it, you don't have to. But these are two things that we strongly urge you to do: colon hydrotherapy or enema.
Other symptoms that you might start experiencing is bad breath. We've had this question quite a bit. Is, what do I do if I'm at work and I don't have time to rinse my mouth? And um, what I would recommend is that you, yeah, have a snack, but have some mint leaves. Buy some fresh mint leaves and some basil leaves and have those as a snack. They're perfectly safe, not going to hurt you if you've never had raw mint or raw basil. Um, it's okay, just chew on those. It will save your breath a little bit. The one thing that we do experience as we are releasing toxicity is a bit of lethargy. So you might have a day or two where you sort of find yourself not really having any energy, and you might say, well, I thought I was supposed to get energy from this detox. And
Or
um,
mood swing. There
yeah,
are a lot of people that they have mood swing during this detox.
so you might experience some mood swings, you might experience some lethargy. It's all very, very, very normal. We just want to say this up front so that if you face these things, stay calm, don't be alarmed. Um, but if you are alarmed, you're always welcome to call us, get a hold of us, and uh, you know help you through it. Um, but so these are some of the things that you might experience. Now, just to recap, week one, it's an all vegan way of eating with one smoothie a day. Week two, it's all raw, and every day you will have two blended meals, one smoothie and one energy soup, and the other one will just be a solid raw vegan meal. For week three, all of your meals are blended, some fruits, but primarily vegetables. Um, we highly encourage you to surround yourself for 3 weeks with people that are supporting you through this. Stay away from the people that you know might be critical of this. Uh, if you are in relationships that are not supportive and are not loving, we highly suggest that for 3 weeks you just, um, set a boundary for yourself just so that there's no sabotage for yourself, because this is not an easy thing. I mean, we would love to tell you that, oh man, this is a breeze, or uh, but no, this requires work, this requires focus, and it requires preparation for sure. Uh, and all at the same time, this is absolutely possible. It is doable. Hundreds and hundreds of people have done it. We have personally seen it. We do it 3 times a year. And we just want to encourage you to take action, take the first step, whatever that is for you, and embark on this for your own health.
Do you need to have anything to add? Okay, thank you for listening for us. Again, I emphasize, please, if you have a question and we're not charging anything for this. And if you have question, email us. It may take us a couple of days to get back with you, but the email especially if you don't have anybody to connect with, we can be your connection. We can be your support. So email us, and we can help you. Thank you for listening from Simi Valley, California. Dr. Masoud.
And Ruth, bye bye.
Bye